everyone, welcome back to my channel and welcome to my 2024 Pan Those Eyeshadows project intro video. I am so excited to be filming this video for you today because this is probably my most favorite video to film. I absolutely love this project because I love the random selection. If you're unfamiliar, I will explain it all. But because this is the intro video, I get to randomly select all the eyeshadows today. Normally it's just one at a time as I hit pan and roll them out, but today it's all 5, so that is why I'm so excited. But before we jump into selecting all the new eyeshadows, I'm gonna quickly explain how this project works. We'll run through my numbers because I track everything, and then we will randomly select the 5 eyeshadows that we're going to be working on this year. I am so excited. So how I manage my Pan Those Eyeshadows project is, first of all, I track all of my eyeshadows on a spreadsheet, which is on my computer right behind me, and I'm gonna be going through all those numbers. And what I like to do in this video is I'll go through and I'll randomly select 5 eyeshadows to work on. And my goal when I'm working on those eyeshadows is to hit pans. So basically use enough of the product to be able to see the little metal tin that the product is held in. And then once I hit pan, I will roll an eyeshadow out of this project, and then at my next update, when I'm filming, I will randomly select a new eyeshadow to roll in its place. I love this project because it pushes me out of my comfort zone. It makes me use eyeshadows and palettes that I don't normally necessarily pull for, and it's just so fun for like the random selection. I get really different creative eyeshadow looks out of it. I love filming these, I love watching these videos, so hopefully you all enjoy this as well. And then the only other thing that I want to mention in terms of how I manage this project is if there is an eyeshadow that I feel like I'm never gonna hit pan on and I'm just like working through it and it's just not something that I want to be working on, either because I feel like I'm never gonna hit pan or I don't enjoy using it, the rule is if I use it 20 times, I can roll it out at 20 uses and roll something else in. So I did that last year with one eyeshadow. It was a black eyeshadow. I was using it as a liner, but there was no way I was going to be able to use enough of it as a liner to be able to hit pan. And so once I surpassed 20 uses on it, I rolled it out. But otherwise, all of the eyeshadows that were rolled out of my project last year were because I hit pan on them. So that's kind of how I do this project. I give myself a little bit of an out, but otherwise I try to hit pan on every single eyeshadow that gets rolled into this project. So like I mentioned, I track numbers in this project, and if you watched my December finale video for my 2023 project, you'll know that I mentioned that my numbers were going to be changing, and that was because I was planning on adding 2 new palettes to my collection, and I did. So the first is this Pat McGrath Labs Mothership 10 palette. So I added this one to my collection, and then I also added this Huda Beauty Empowered palette to my collection. So my numbers have changed a little bit. I was hoping to get to 15% of pan in my eyeshadow collection last year. I didn't quite make it. I ended at 3.68%, but now since adding these 2 palettes, that pan percentage has continued to drop down a little bit more, which is okay. I knew that was going to happen when I bought new eyeshadows. So in terms of where we stand with numbers today, and I'm looking right here, I have 240 eyeshadows now in my collection. 14 of those are single shadows, and then 226 of them are across 13 different palettes. And now my pan percentage is at 12.08%, and I have 29 pans in my eyeshadow collection. So that leaves me with 211 eligible eyeshadows able to be rolled into this project. So those are my numbers. That is how this project works. Let's go ahead and randomly select the eyeshadows that we're going to be working on. Okay, I have my pretty random app up, so let's select 5. 238, 215, 109, 59, and 111. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and collect my palettes and see all the shades that we selected. All right, so I'm actually rolling in a brand new palette to this project, which is fun. This is my Huda Beauty Empowered palette, and I will be working on this shade right here called Get It, which looks like an orangey peach brownish shade, which I think I can make this work as a crease shade, which is always good to have in this project. So I am excited to be rolling that in, and also really excited to be rolling in a new palette because that'll have me pulling for that palette to use on a regular basis. Next shade comes from my ABH Nouveau palette, and it is the shade Metro, which is this one right here, which is another probably pretty good crease shade actually. So, or could be really pretty to wear together with Get It for like a matte look. So again, excited about both of those. I never know what to expect, so it's kind of cool because I feel like I normally don't get a ton of matte shades in this project, and to have 2 right off the bat that could be used as crease shades is definitely a positive. Scrolling on up, next in line comes, oh, I have two from my ABH Jackie Ina palette. So I have Shookington and Edges. So Shookington is this purple shade, which I've worked on a purple from this palette before. I worked on Big Wig in a project. I did not hit pan and it was kind of hard to use because it was a bit patchy. And just upon first swatch, I fear that Shookington might also be a bit patchy. And then the other shade that I selected from this palette is this shade right here called Edges, which again, could be another great matte eyeshadow. I think I'm gonna have some really fun matte eyeshadow looks with these three shades. And then obviously we have a random purple in there too. So excited about that one as well. And then the last shade, of course, comes from my Jaclyn Hill Morphe Volume 1 palette, because this palette is always in this project. It's never not in this project. And it is the shade Hillster, which is this one right here. Not thrilled with this selection. I feel like I always have like a dark maroon type color, and it looks very similar actually to the one above it, but that is what we selected, so that is what we're working with. I do feel like the top two and the bottom two work probably really well together, and then we have like a random purple in there, so we'll see how all of this goes. But these are the shades that I selected to work on for this year, so I'm excited to work through them and hopefully hit some pans soon. I'm gonna go ahead and jump to the next clip, which will be me using all 5 of these shades on my eyes at once and seeing what type of look that we can come up with. Hi, so I'm back. My eyes are primed. I don't have any of my other makeup on. And I have to admit, like going into this, I'm really pumped on all 3 of my matte shades, but I am not so pumped on the 2 other shades. So that's just kind of where we're at and how I'm feeling. But I'm gonna go ahead and start with Get It in my crease. On a smaller fluffy brush, I'm gonna pick up Metro and put that in my crease, but also pull it into my outer corner. It's just gonna lay lower than the Get It shade. And then we're gonna do a little bit of blending here. I'm gonna pick up my Hillster shade from my Jaclyn Hill palette, and I'm just gonna lay that on basically like the inner 2/3 of my lid. And I know that's not a matte shade, but it honestly like looks kind of matte on the lids and blends actually quite well into the other shades. I have no idea what I'm gonna do with Shookington. I was thinking about maybe putting it over in the middle or putting it in my inner corner. I think I'm gonna try and layer it in the middle. I think it could look strange in the inner corner, although we could be totally messing up this look right now by putting it in the middle. I just don't think that all of these shades are meant to be paired together. Although I spent like literally 2 seconds blending and I feel like I blended that completely away. So I'm gonna add a little bit more. At first swatch, I wasn't impressed with this shade. I felt like that didn't have very much pigment, but I feel like it's like going on better than when I swatched it. Although like I said, I feel like it's like blending away pretty easily. Which for this particular look is probably a good thing. Okay, that doesn't look half bad actually. And then the last shade I need to use is this shade right here called Edges from my ABH Jackie Ina palette. And I'm just gonna use this on my lower lash line. I am gonna grab the inner corner highlight that I was working on last year in my project pan from my Jaclyn Hill palette and pop that in the inner corner to brighten this up a little bit. I'm also gonna grab this thin brush and take a little bit of that Shookington shade and put that in the same spot on the lower lash line where it is on my upper lid, just to have some symmetry here. Okay, I'm gonna do a little bit of blending and then I'm gonna put the rest of my makeup on and I'll be back with the final look. Okay, so this is the final look. It is a bit darker than I would prefer. I feel like it's like a very glam, and that's not exactly what I'm going for on a day-to-day basis. I honestly think I'm just gonna have to incorporate some lighter shades in with a lot of these to get the type of looks that I'm going for, which is fine. I think that's definitely doable. The purple shade, Shookington, actually impressed me more than I thought it was going to after first swatch, so I think we can make that one work. I don't I still don't love this Hilster shade. It's just kind of like blah for me. But like I said, I am very excited about my 3 matte shades. So hopefully we can work through some of these and get some pans pretty soon for you. But I hope you all enjoyed this video. Thank you so much for watching. Definitely stay tuned for my next one and subscribe if you haven't subscribed. Give this video a thumbs up if you liked it. And I hope all of you are doing well and staying safe. And I'll see you in my next video.